Okay, I just want to make this short prelude before going on to the main tutorial videos, which I've had to download and convert um, from the back office, because you can't access these normally unless you're actually a member of Trafficwave. Okay, but what I really want to show you is this features. You can go to features, and as you see, it'll show you everything in features. It'll take you back. We'll just pricing. You can find out everything you really need to know about Trafficwave without actually becoming a member. That's the beauty of all this. Questions and answers, affiliates. That shows you the whole breakdown, monthly, how much you can earn on your residual income, etc. It's all the information you'd ever need is all here. And look, you can also access these down here. You've got access to everything before you actually become a member, so you're not left in any doubt whatsoever. So that's all from me, and we'll continue now with the tutorials. Thank you very much for watching so far. Here we go. Bye.
This video is going to show you just how easy it is to create a new autoresponder campaign in trafficwave.net. When you log into your back office, click on Campaign Manager, and you'll see on the left here a link labeled Create New Campaign. Go ahead and click that link. This will take you to our setup wizard. You have basically 5 steps here. We're going to start by entering in a nickname for your campaign. You have an option here to create a description. This will help you remember what your different autoresponders are for when you begin managing multiple campaigns in your account. And remember, you do get unlimited campaigns with your Trafficwave account. This screen will show you your email subscription address. Basically, when someone sends an email to that address, they will receive a confirmation email from that autoresponder campaign. This does not work like a regular email address, so you won't be able to send and receive email from there. It works just to subscribe people to your autoresponder. You'll also see an example here of what a hosted capture page URL would look like. If you like everything, awesome. If you need to make any changes, just click back to step 1. And if you like it the way it is, you'll just click move to step 2. This is where we're going to set up your profile information. You'll put your name here and your return email address. This is where if somebody gets your email messages, your autoresponder messages, and they want to reply, and they hit reply on their email program, that's the email address it's going to go back to. Okay? You want to create a campaign title here. This is a good way to remind people of the information that they're receiving. It will show up on the confirmation email as well. You have an option here to add your company name and your phone number. A couple more options here. We have this option to add a new URL token. Now, URL tokens work like this. You can put your website address in here. If you know that your letter or your website address is never ever going to change, you may not need this. But if you know that you want to change out website addresses, or you think there may be some changes, or if you want to make your letters available to a sales team, such as insurance agents, real estate agents, network marketers, affiliate marketers, that sort of thing, and you want to allow them to quickly put their own website address, this is what you would do. Okay, so you'll click on add new URL token like we did there, and then you'll put a URL there, the one that you're using for your letters, and then in the letter itself you'll actually use the signature URL token, and that'll cause this information to appear throughout your letters. And again, if you need to make changes, you would change them here in the profile, and it will automatically change throughout all of your letters, and anybody you share your letters with can do the same thing. This URL token area is just for URLs, for website addresses. If you want to be able to add custom text such as a name, phone number, email address, other information, then you would use the customized text tokens. These are not mandatory. They're just there for you as an option for those that know you'll be making frequent changes or sharing your letters with others. Okay. Once you've got that set up, click Move to Step 3. And you'll have an option here. This is where you're going to create your CAN-SPAM compliant address. Okay. This is required. You can either type in your information to the form there, or if you just want to use the address information that appears in your profile in trafficwave.net, you'll just check that button there. Okay. Then click Move to Step 4. And this is where you're going to decide what information you want your autoresponder to collect. The standard fields are, like you see here, name, email, company, country, address, that sort of thing. And by default, your autoresponder is set up to capture the email address and the name as a single field. If you want to split that so that first name is in one field and the last name is in another field, you would check that option there. You can of course select any other information that you want to collect from your subscribers, and over here on the right you can decide whether that information is optional, or if you check required to submit, that means the form will not allow them to submit their information without putting something in there. Okay, you can set those based on your own preferences, your objectives, with how you want to capture information. You'll notice here at the bottom of the screen we have what we call custom fields. This is a way that you can set up fields that aren't necessarily standard. These might be survey questions or questions specific to product specifications that you offer. And as an example, we'll show you some of the options that you can set up to use this. The first thing, of course, is you want to check this box to let the system know that you intend to use that custom field. You can decide here that the information is required or it's optional. In this case, I'm going to make it required. And for the sake of this demo, we're going to find out what is their favorite color. I'm going to name this field for my own reference as color, and then this is where you'll actually put the question that appears in the subscription form. Okay? What is your favorite color? Now you've got a couple of options here for how you collect that information. A text field, which you see selected here, just means you're going to have a field like this one where they can type in their response. That can be fine, but if you plan to go back later and you want to search for people that made certain selections, you want to search for the people who entered blue, you want to search only for the people who entered yellow, and you don't want to create a ton of varieties on how that information can be entered in, I recommend you use the pull down option. Okay, so when you select the pull down, it'll work just like this is actually a sample of a pull down function right here. Okay, so you want to give them, for example, 4 color options: blue, yellow, green, and red. You would basically force those options to be available on your form so that that's all they can select from. Okay. Now again, that's completely optional. I suggest this as a way if you want to be able to go back and search specifically for particular information as you're managing your subscribers. You've got options to add several more custom data fields. So once you've got those set up the way you want them, over here on the right again, you'll see Move to Step 5. A couple of pieces of information here you want to be aware of. Okay. The first one is the notification of subscriptions. If you check this box right here, the TrafficWave system will send you an email to let you know that somebody has confirmed their subscription request, and it will show you what information they put in. So if you are doing a type of survey or you're asking custom questions, you'll be able to get that notification in your email. This is very helpful if you want to follow up with folks via phone before you send them information, that sort of thing. Okay? Leaving that box unchecked means they will still get subscribed to your autoresponder once they click the confirmation link, but you won't get a copy of that information sent to your email. Okay? The last piece here is your confirmation message. You can click on Show a Sample of My Confirmation Letter, and this is what a confirmation message would look like. Here's the message that you can modify. This is the system message that shows them how to confirm their subscription and automatically includes the link that they will click to confirm their subscription to your autoresponder. I definitely recommend creating a custom message here. Okay, this is very bland, very generic. Things you might do here is say, thank you for requesting your free sample, your free ebook, your download, something like that. Mention the name of your campaign, the name of your offer, so that you're building rapport and credibility with your subscribers as they come in. Once you've got that message set up, take a look here at the bottom and make sure that everything is compliant there, and you'll check this box. I have read and agree to the above requirements. Once that's done, you'll move over here to the bottom right again and click Finish. Your autoresponder campaign is now assembled and being created, and when you see this message come up, it tells you congratulations, you set up your new campaign. Your next step is to start with your letters. So you'll click Great, take me to the Letters tab, and this is where you'll begin creating the letters for your autoresponder campaign. And to see that video and that information, just go back to trafficwave.net/wiki, W-I-K-I, and select that option there on your screen. This video is going to show you how easy it is to create and edit your letters in trafficwave.net. You start by logging into your back office and then going to your campaign manager. Once you're there, you're going to click on the nickname of the campaign you want to work with. And on your screen here, you will see your Letters tab. Mouse over the Letters tab and click Create New Letter. Now you've got a number of options here, and the first two options you'll see is you can start by using one of our templates, or you can start with a blank letter. For this tutorial, we're going to start with a template, so I'm going to click Use a Template right here. I'm going to select the HTML templates option, and you can see some of the examples that we have here, and these are basic skeletons to give you the framework to begin creating your letter or your newsletter for your autoresponder. Now I'm going to use this simple newsletter design right here by clicking Select next to that template. And what you'll see here is your autoresponder manager is already set up with that information. You've got the border, you see an image here, we've got some text here that's really just a placeholder. You'll replace that text with your own text. Okay? Make sure, of course, before you save your letter here that you include your subject line. So let's say we just want to say hello to our subscriber and we want to use their name in our subject line. So I'm going to click Add Token, and I want to use their first name because I'm collecting their first name and last name, and I'm going to put that right there in the subject line. That means every message that goes out will be personally addressed to the first name of that particular subscriber. Okay? So let's talk about how to edit the text here in your letter. Just select the text that you want to change and type in your new text. You can do that with all of the text that you see on the screen here. So we won't go into all of that, of course. But the next thing we'll show you how to do here is change this image. What you have here is just a placeholder image. And to change that, we're going to select the image. We're going to click on the image icon. And then we'll click Browse Server. Now the first thing you'll notice here on the left, we have a stock photos folder, which gives you a lot of stock images that are available at no additional charge with your account. You've also got a folder here with your username, and this is where you can upload your own custom images by simply choosing the file on your computer and then clicking Upload. For now, we're going to use some of our stock photo images. So we'll click Stock Photos, and let's go to the Business section. And we're going to use this image here of a graph. Okay? You'll see what the image looks like here at the original size. Click Select. Now you can change the size of your image by changing your width and your height. You can, you'll see here this one has a border of 1. If you delete that, the border will go away. I like to put about 5 or 6 pixels of space around my image, so you can see how we're doing that. And I want the image placement to stay on the left, just like it is on the original template. Okay, you can also change it to the right by selecting that option there. Once you've got that set the way you want it, click OK, and you'll see that the image now appears in your newsletter. Okay? The last thing we'll cover for this particular tutorial, you can see how this text right here is a blue underlined link. So here's how you get that done. Select the text that you want to be clickable, and then over here you're going to use the link tool. Okay? Excuse me. We'll break that for this now. Select this link tool, and let's say we want to link this back to our website at trafficwave.net. You'll notice that the HTTP is already here in this section. So you just start typing with the www section. Click OK, and this text is now clickable. You can do that with paragraphs. For example, I can take this subtitle right here, and I can take this paragraph right here, and I can make all of that clickable if I wanted to do that. But that gives you the basic idea of how you'll go through, and you can edit all the text in that newsletter. Once that's done, you've got everything the way you want it, make sure you click Save This Letter here at the bottom, and your new letter is now created and stored in your autoresponder campaign. To create a new letter template, log into your back office and click on Campaign Manager. Select the autoresponder campaign you want to work with by clicking that nickname. And then here at the top you'll see the Letters tab. Click Create New Letter. On your screen you'll see an option here to either use an existing template or start with a blank letter. Now you can create a template for yourself from scratch, or you can use one of our guides to get started. So we'll click Use a Template, and we'll go with something fairly simple for the sake of this exercise here. We'll click this first one, Image and Title Template, and you'll see that the system automatically gives you a basic layout where here is where you'll put a photograph, image of yourself, company logo, some sort of promotional image, and you've got some basic text to start with. So the idea here is we want to create a template that we'll be able to start with for every letter that we want to create after this. So the first thing we'll do is we'll change this picture here by clicking that image, and then click the image icon. You'll click Browse Server and select an image that you want to use for your letters. You'll see over here on the left you have a number of stock photos. If you've uploaded any photos, you'll see them here in your folder with your username. And for now, let's go with a stock image just to keep things easy. And we'll pick a business image here, and let's say we want to use well, something like this guy right here. We'll click Select down here, and then we'll do some changes. We'll go ahead and change the width. I don't like to use borders on mine, but I do like to add a little bit of space around my image, and I want to leave that on the left. Okay. So here's what your new layout looks like here, and you can go ahead and change your text here. If you know you've got information that won't be changing from newsletter to newsletter, then you can just leave that there. Otherwise, make those changes. Now, the thing that you want to do here, once you've got your template laid out the way you want it to be, so you can use it again and again, instead of clicking Save This Letter, you're going to click Save as Custom Letter Template, and here you'll give it a name. Okay. And click Create Template, and you'll see that you have those right here. When you go to review your letters or your templates here, you'll have a tab labeled as My Letter Templates, and you'll be able to click this option right here, and you'll be able to see those and make any changes you like. So how do we use this in the future? When you go to create a new letter, you'll click here, you'll click Use a Template, and you'll select the template that you've created here. Remember, we named ours Newsletter 1. And that's going to load everything that you did just the way you saved it before. You can edit that template at any time, and this just gives you a very convenient way to be able to save yourself some steps once you've got your newsletter template set up the way you want it to be. This video is going to show you how to use our hosted capture pages option. Now I want to make it very, very clear, it's always better to have your own website with your own domain so that you can control all of your content, all of your branding. This will help with search engine optimization and other social networking options that you want to take advantage of. But if you don't have a website, or you want to get a quick capture page up and running, there's a very easy way to do that here in your Traffic Wave account. Once you've logged in, go to your Campaign Manager, and then select the campaign that you want to work with. Along here at the top, you'll see the Capture Pages / Forms tab, and just go down here to Hosted Capture Pages. I'm going to walk you through the basic steps for creating one, and we'll start by clicking Create New Hosted Capture Page. Now you'll see here an example template, a very small image. You can click Choose New Template to see some bigger options here, and what you'll see here is little screenshots of the different templates that are available. You can also break those down by category. Now, if you want something very generic, something specifically for Traffic Wave, something that might appeal for the business market, the internet market, real estate, that sort of thing, you can choose those here. I'm going to scroll through here real quick and just pick one that we've already used before to give you the basic idea. Now here's where you can click on the little image and it'll show you a larger image to give you a preview of what your capture page would look like. Okay, and if you want to use this one here, then you would just click use this template, and you're going to see here on the left there's a little screenshot of what your hosted capture page is going to look like. Now the information that you have here, you can give it a page nickname. This is going to be a one-word phrase, no spaces or dashes, anything like that. This will actually become part of a URL. You have an option here to make this your safety page, meaning if someone clicks on a capture page URL that isn't functional, your system will automatically send them to this capture page by default. Here in this form, you'll put a headline. You can use this form for a sub-headline, and then you want to enter some paragraphs. Okay. Typically, if the paragraphs are required, it'll show you here. The first paragraph is always required. This is where you're going to use your ad copy. You can use up to 3 paragraphs, and we definitely recommend you put a call to action to let your visitors know they should fill out the form. Further down, you have the signature name. This could be your name or your company name. You have the option of adding your email address and your website address to the page itself so that can be displayed. And then the last thing that you have here, your subscription landing URL. If you have a custom landing page that you want people to go to after they filled out the form, you would type that information here. If you have a confirmation landing URL, meaning a website that you want them to go to after they've clicked the confirmation link, then that URL information would go here. Okay? Then you finish up by clicking Create New Capture Page, and then I'll show you here the basic idea. If we use that template, what that would look like. You'll see that you have your new capture page URL here, and this is what you can use in your advertising, in your surf exchanges, that sort of thing. If you need to make changes, you click this campaign name or this capture page nickname that you created here. So we'll click this button here to show you what that capture page looks like, and you can see there that we use that template. There's some copy that we've used there, and then the form, you have an option, remember, to use the long form or the short form. You'll always have a little signature footer down here at the bottom, and this will be linked to your Traffic Wave affiliate page. And if you put in your URL here, then you'll see that appear on your capture page as well. But that's how easy it is to set up your hosted capture page in trafficwave.net. This video is going to show you how to use letter tokens to provide some personalization and give you some increased flexibility with managing your autoresponder campaigns and letters. The first place you start, of course, is logging into your back office, and then once you get logged in, we'll just click on the campaign manager and we'll select the autoresponder campaign we want to work with. Okay. We've talked about how to create letters in some other videos, but I'm going to go ahead and create a new letter here to show you how we would start, and I'm going to start with a blank letter. In your subject line, you can add personalization to put your subscriber's name into your autoresponder campaign into each of your letters. So we would just click on Add Token, and if you're collecting their full name in your autoresponder form, you would actually click the name token. If you're collecting the first and last name separately, then you have the option of just adding their first name, or you could click the first name and then the last name and add both of those. Okay, so I like to address my letters to my subscribers by name. This is going to help your response rate or your open rate go up dramatically. So your subject line can be personalized, something like that. Now we move down here into the letter itself. Now you can do templates and you can do plain messages and all that fun stuff. This tutorial is just going to show you how to insert these tokens, okay? So let's say we want to address this letter to the subscriber by name. So I'm going to put hello, and then I'm going to click up here for tokens. And same thing here, I'm going to use first name because I'm collecting first and last names separately, okay? And that just gives you an idea here. Now you can look on here, we've got tokens for their name, of course, their email. We always collect that at a minimum. If you're collecting their company name, if you're using the salutation such as Mr. or Mrs., their address, that sort of thing, you can put that information in your letter as well. Now we also have custom fields available, And during our setup video, we showed you how to use those custom fields. So if you're wanting to use that information in here, you would also do that. Now this shows me for my particular campaign, for that custom signature name, I'm using my name, Brian Rooney, and my email address here. And of course we've got the title of the campaign, all that fun stuff, and this website address. Now let's say I want to use this website address right here. Let me just move this out of the way here. You also have the option to type those codes in if you want to do that. It's just a lot easier, and you'll minimize mistakes or eliminate mistakes if you use this token button to get those URLs in there. Now, why do we use those customization tokens like this URL token? You'll see here I'm using a token instead of actually putting in the website address that I would be promoting. If I ever need to change that website address, then this is where that change is going to become very important. Rather than having to open up every letter one at a time, and if I've got 7 letters or 10 letters or 30 letters, I would have to open up each one of those letters, go through and find that URL and manually change it. But if I'm using these custom tokens, then all I got to do is change that in my profile tab, and it makes it much easier to manage potentially changing information. Another way for you to use that option is if you're going to make your letters available to members of your team. Let's say you're part of a network marketing company, an affiliate group, or an insurance sales team, realtors, and you want to use master letters, but you want them to be able to use their own name, their own email address, their own phone number. You would use those signature tokens there, and that's how you would, of course, add those tokens by using this token button right here. And then you'd be able to change those anytime you needed to by just going to that part of your profile for that autoresponder campaign, make those changes in one place, and they're automatically propagated throughout all of your letters. Okay? This video is going to show you how to set up and add capture forms to your website or your blog. Okay? We log into our back office and we click Campaign Manager. Click the nickname of the campaign you want to work with, and you'll see a group of tabs here. On the right, you'll see the Capture Pages / Forms tab, and click on Capture Forms. We're going to start by clicking Get Basic HTML Form Code. If you don't want to make any changes, you just want to use it as it is, then you're good to go. All you have to do is copy and paste this JavaScript code to your website or your blog. Now there are many FTP programs and a lot of ways you can interact with blog software, so we're not going to be able to cover those steps here on this video, but we're going to show you how to use the traffic wave end of things. Okay? If you prefer to use the raw HTML code, you'll select that option there, and then you'll see the raw HTML code. Now the big difference between these two, JavaScript of course takes up less space. If you need to go back into your account and make changes at any time, including formatting changes on the form itself, the data that you're collecting, anything like that, if you make those changes here in your account and you're using the JavaScript code on your website, then those changes will automatically be updated on your website or your blog. If, however, you're using the plain HTML code, then you would need to actually come back to this section, recopy this code, and reinstall it on your website or your blog. So we definitely recommend using this JavaScript option. Okay? Now, let's talk about how to make some changes here. The form itself is pretty plain, pretty bland, and if you want to make some customization changes, you would click on Customize HTML Form. Okay? Now, one of the things I recommend here, go ahead and give yourself a name here, because you can save this form code once it's done. So if you decide later on you want to add the same form code to a different website, a different page on your blog, it'll be saved here for you. So I like to put the date on here. So today's date for this video is actually June 7th, and so I would name it something like that, and then we'll take a look at what we've got here on the screen. When you scroll down to the bottom, this is what your form will look like if you use the code as it is. Okay? Couple of options here. You'll notice here that the JavaScript error checking by default is set to off, and there's no custom subscription landing URL or custom landing URL here. So we're going to click Adjust Parameters, and then if you want to use JavaScript error checking, you would check this button right here, and that means anytime somebody tries to submit a form that doesn't have the information that you require, or it's not properly formatted, they're going to get an error message that's going to tell them to go back and check that. your subscription URL here. Right now, by default, when somebody submits the form, they're going to get a standard traffic wave screen that says to check their email for a confirmation message. When they click the confirmation link, they're going to get a standard traffic wave screen that tells them, congratulations, you've been subscribed. If you want to use a custom thank you page, a custom confirmation page, you want to give them custom instructions, you would create that web page on your own web hosting account, and then you would put that URL here. So again, the subscription URL is the URL that they're going to see once they submit the form, and then the confirmation URL is the web page that they're going to see once they click the confirmation URL. So if you're doing a download or something like that, you want to redirect them to a particular place, this is where you would make that happen, okay? And we'll just click adjust and return. Any changes you make will be saved there. So now we want to look at how to change this form code, the layout, colors, that sort of thing. Click Customize CSS. And let me get this on the screen here. You're going to see the first option is changing the form width. Okay, now if you want to make that wider, this is measured in pixels. So you would be able to change that parameter there, and you see how your form would actually get wider. Okay. Go to table appearance, you'll be able to select the font family you want to work with. You'll see how that changes the font there. The font appearance can be bold, it can be italicized, you've got some options there. You can change the size. Okay. We've also got some options here for the border, if you want to do a border around your form, things like that. Okay. Then you've got some options here. Your border style, you could make it what they call inset. You can change the width. Let's do something like this. If you want to change the color, click in here for the border color, and using our color wheel, select the color that you want that to be. You can do all kinds of things. This doesn't look great right now, but this is just a way to show you the options that are available to you. The last thing here, this option is your submit button appearance. Now you can actually change the text depending on what you actually want that to be. You can also change the font within that submit form and that sort of thing there, okay? Now once you've got your form here the way you like it, click finish, and you'll do save custom form data. Okay, and then we're going to go over here, you'll see where remember we named it, demo and today's date, and so I can go over here to click get HTML code. If I want to make changes, I can click this edit icon. If you want to delete this form for any reason, you would just click this delete button here. So we're going to go to get HTML code, and again here you have the option to get your JavaScript version, and you have the option to get your raw HTML version. As a reminder, we recommend using the JavaScript because any changes that you make in your account will automatically be updated on the website or the blog where that JavaScript appears. If you like to get in there and tweak your HTML by hand and make some adjustments that way, then you'll want to use the HTML version. Just remember that when you make changes in your account, you'll need to recopy and paste and tweak this code and add it back to your website. So that's how you create, save, and get the autoresponder capture form code to use on your own website or blog. In this video, we're going to show you how to broadcast a message to your subscribers in any campaign. You start by clicking Campaign Manager, choose the campaign that you want to work with. In your Subscribers tab, click Manage Subscribers. Now in my case, I'm going to use this group right here, but you can use the search criteria section to search for members that fit any particular criteria you're looking for, such as people within a particular city, people that share a zip code, people within a particular country, or any of your custom fields that you've set up. And once you've got your group selected, in my case I have 8,562 subscribers in this group, you click Broadcast to this group. Select your letter that you've already written, and then click here in the date area. This is going to allow you to set up a date and a time, and in my case, let's say I want to set this to go out at 5:50. I want it to go out today. That's October 24th, and click Done. When you've got your date and your time set up here, just click Broadcast Letter, and then click Proceed to confirm. You'll see that your broadcast has now been scheduled, and the system will begin sending it out within a few minutes of the date and time that you selected. And that's how easy it is to broadcast any message to your subscriber list. This video is going to show you how to set up a series of letters that can be used by your downline in any network marketing company. And the idea, of course, is you're going to be able to help your downline members get a quick start by making your master series of letters available to them. So we're going to show you how to set those letters up using our letter tokens, which will let your downline members retrieve your letters, and when those letters are pulled into their autoresponder account at TrafficWave, the letters will include their name, their email, their phone number, that sort of thing. So the way you want to start, of course, is give some thought to what information is going to change from one distributor to the next. As an example, of course, we know their name will be different, their distributor website will be different, their email address, and of course, their phone number will all be different from one distributor to the next. So those are the basic pieces of information that you want to use tokens for, and you may want to use more or less depending on your particular network marketing company and the requirements for the system that you're using in building your group. So let's look at how to set up your autoresponder campaign as a master series of letters. Of course, we go through the traditional process of setting up a new campaign. And that information is covered in your wiki as well under creating a new autoresponder campaign. But you'll click on Create New Campaign here and set up your information just like you would with any autoresponder campaign. And we're just going to set up some basic dummy information here so we can get to the part that you really want to pay attention to for using these tokens. Okay, now you see these URL tokens here. This is where you're going to set up your own URL, because in your master series of letters, of course, you're going to be using your website that you're using for lead generation or your presentation, whatever that may be. And we're using this option because this information will change from one distributor to the next. And then you have here the customized text tokens. The information that you're going to use here, remember we talked about their name will change from one distributor to the next, of course, and their email address, and perhaps a phone number if your system is using phone numbers, okay? Now again, you may have more or less information, so you want to give that some thought before you begin creating your master campaign. And once you've got that information the way you want it, you'll go to step 3, and this is where we'll do the regular CAN spam compliant footer. And we're not going to change any customization here on the form fields that are being captured, but we are going to go on to this next and final step here. Okay? Once you've got your confirmation message set up and all those fun things are done, your autoresponder campaign is going to be created. And now we're going to go to set up letters so we can show you how to use these tokens to set these up for your downline to be able to use. Okay? Now, in your letters tab, you're going to go to create new letter, and again we have another video on some of the technical aspects of how to create your letter, but I just want to show you how we use those tokens to input distributor information into each of those letters. So you would put maybe, now this is where you got hi, my name is, and this is going to be different for each distributor that's in your team and is using these letters, right? So we're going to go up here to tokens. Now, we're not going to use the name and first name or last name tokens because that is for the subscribers. You want to go down here to the signature text token, okay? And you can see here the information that you would have put in when you set up yours. In my case, my name there, Brian Rooney. And you're going to do your letter here. And when you want to put their email address in, same way, you're going to click on this tokens button. Make sure you go down here and use your signature text, okay? And let's see here. Same thing for the phone number in this case. And the last one is the URL token that you set up. Okay, now you can see here we've got examples of the information that you will have entered when you're setting up your autoresponder series using those URL tokens and custom signature tokens. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and save this letter at this point. Just to give you an idea, this walks you through how to use these tokens. The letter itself, of course, not real fancy, and that's okay. You're going to go through, of course, entering in your number of days, delay. And once you've got all these letters set up, and you want to go ahead and get all of your letters done. If it's 5, get all 5 done. If it's 7, get all 7 done. And here's where things are going to get real critical for you. You want to make sure that you make these letters available to everybody in your organization to use. Okay? So we're going to click on this profile tab here, and here you'll see campaign options. Okay? There's a little checkbox right here next to publish these letters. You want to check that box and then click update campaign options. This information right here is the information that you want to make available to everybody in your downline. Okay? Now what they're going to do is they're going to go through and they're going to set up an autoresponder campaign, and then they're going to use the option to retrieve letters. Okay? You'll see here in the letters tab where it says retrieve published campaign. Your users, your downline members, are going to go here and they're going to check this second box. And they're going to put the information, that series ID number and that 5-digit code, and that information there. They'll select the autoresponder campaign they want to pull those letters into, and then they'll click retrieve pre-written autoresponder letters. So what happened is you created a master series of letters. And instead of just putting your name and your website address, you created those for tokens. And everywhere those tokens get used in those letters, when your downline members retrieve your published campaign, the letters are going to be created in their traffic wave autoresponder, but it's going to include their name, their email, their phone number, their website address. So use those tokens for any of that information that will be changing from one letter to the next. And this is a great way to help your new network marketing distributors get up to speed very quickly with the same follow-up letters that you're using, and that helps them get past that part and focus on the productive activities like the advertising and the actual follow-up, getting people brought into your business. This video is going to show you how to set up your autoresponder campaign to capture more data than just the name and the email address. We start by logging into our back office and then going to the campaign manager. Select the campaign that you want to work with, and then over here on the left of your screen you'll see a link labeled Define Campaign Data. The first thing you'll notice on the screen is that your autoresponder is automatically set up to collect the name and the email address. If you look here on the right, you'll see that this information is always required. Now you have the option to split that name to collect the first name and the last name separately. You'll also see here some standard options such as a company name, the country, address line, city, state, zip, phone number, fax number, the birthday, gender, etc. And you can decide over here on the right if you want these fields to be required. If you check these boxes here and your subscriber tries to submit the form without filling in that information, they won't be allowed to submit. If you leave these unchecked, then they will have the option to include that information or not at their discretion. Now the next thing you want to notice is custom fields. You can actually set up custom fields in your autoresponder to collect data that's not necessarily standard. You may want to ask about their favorite color or a favorite food choice, something of that nature. So to add custom fields to your autoresponder form, you would start by selecting the box next to Custom 1 and then decide whether you want this field to be required or not. Again, if you check this box, it will be required. If the box is unchecked, that information is optional. Now let's say, for example, we want to just ask them their favorite color. Okay? This is just a name to help you recognize what that information is about, and then this question that you type here will actually be the question that they see on the form. And you have an option here. The first option that you see automatically selected is a text field. They can just type their answer in there. If you want to have more control over what they can select from, for example, you might want to use a pull down. This is where you can specify selections that are available to them. Something like that, okay? You also have the option of making this a hidden field. If you want to use this to track internal information, maybe you're going to put something on here such as Yahoo. This is a form that you're using on ads that come from Yahoo, or any other tracking sort of information that you want to include there that you don't necessarily want the subscriber to see. You can add several custom data fields. You would simply check or click the box there to add custom data field, and you can continue doing this until you have as many as you want. Once that's done and set up the way you want to, click Submit Changes to Data Collection, and now whenever you go to our form creator or using our JavaScript code, this is the data that will automatically be specified for your subscription form to collect.